Welcome back. You're watching Media Dialogues on CNBC-TV18 and I'm talking to Sapna, Chadha of Google and Sunil, Mehta of the Indian Banks Association, and we are discussing what it will take to keep people safe in their digital financial transactions. Sunil, while we are talking about all the rapid changes that technology is bringing in financial transactions and commercial transactions, what is interesting is that it's not just these kind of attempts to defraud people. There's something else that the RBI came out with guidelines last month, right, for digital lending, and that's not in this zone at all. But we do know that one of the reasons that those guidelines were brought into place, and contentious guidelines, because we know that not everybody has received them well in that space, but there has been this fear that the reason these guidelines were needed is the fear that people needed to be protected, isn't it, from unscrupulous lenders, from extortionist interest rates, and from strong arm tactics used to recover money. You want to just weigh in on that, because wouldn't you need to inform your customers about this as well, right?
So you're perfectly right, and the basic purpose of RBI guidelines on this fintech issue is because there are all type of players in the market. Some of the fintechs, they have not been so ethical, and they have adopted to the type of practices which were detrimental to the interest of the borrowers. And borrowing need is a need of a very large segment of the society.
Yes.
And if they think that quick money is available through a digital lending program, they're prone to give their data, they're prone to give their initial charges, and sometimes they will feed the company in the name of giving a loan, realize the service charges, and do not even disperse the loan, or sometimes they give false promises or do not give a right type of rate of interest, and sometimes they use the bank's platform for onboarding the customers, and later on people realize that it has nothing to do with the bank. So to protect the interest, because RBI, I must appreciate, our RBI is a very strong regulator, and that has been established even during the pandemic time. They have come out with a prudently guidelines. So this regulator has prevented a lot of such activities, and that will really facilitate the entire ecosystem, because people get duped when they become a easy offer of a loan without understanding the intricacies that in the long run there will be extortion, in long term there will be very high rate of interest, in long term there will be the stealing of their data, which can be used elsewhere for some other purposes. And in India, the Data Privacy Act is still on the table of the parliament. Till it is passed, I think there are a lot of gaps available which people want to make advantage of it. So I think the regulator is on board, and it's a time we need to educate people about the not only the attacks on their running accounts, but about the digital lending platforms that are made available.
Right.
And many of them may be unscrupulous.
And I would imagine that, in India, where people need to borrow so frequently for medical emergencies, for school emergencies, just to get by, that these would be very attractive places to go to. Sapna, do you see, as technology evolves, as services that are available evolve, do you see your campaign and Google's efforts, not just this campaign, but Google's efforts holistically having to address these also as in information dissemination and awareness creation? I mean, digital lending, is this something that maybe your campaign would address at some point?
I think when we look at it as a Google, our mission is all about information, right? And if you think about it's universal access to information, we take the quality of information served on platforms very seriously. So again, it goes beyond digital lending. And we have to counter the information when someone is searching. Are we able to surface the most authentic, the most accurate, right? So actually, a lot of technology needs to be applied here. A combination of human intelligence, but also machine learning for us to really be able to improve the authentic support that we're able to provide. For example, we've suspended thousands of scammy accounts in India, auto-denied thousands of scam transactions, and systematically raised, the barriers to entry for bad actors. Part of this is in the moment, what's happening, but also how can we get ahead and, and actually block attempts that are inappropriate. And this goes across, all of our products, and we need to make sure that an extra layer of protection from financial scams actually requires us to think about our advertisers, for example.
Yes.
Now we're required that our advertisers of financial services who may be looking at things like digital lending, that they're undergoing an independent verification and certification process before they can run any ads on our products, right? And so because of what we're seeing with digital lending and loans, we're working across the board. We have an organization globally called Trust and Safety with over 20,000 resources that are looking and working every day to keep the citizens that we take care of safe online. So it's the need of the hour. Actually, we need to all come together to continue to make sure that every citizen is 2 steps ahead. And from that lens, I think collaboration, you allowing us to get this message out in this forum, it's very important that everyone comes together. And so from that lens, I just want to shout out to CNBC for allowing us here to also tell the story of how we all need to make the second nature
Yes.
on the internet and increase our safety habits. So thank you, Anuradha.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, Sunil. And good luck with all this effort that you all are making in this direction. And thank you, viewers, for watching. Tune in again for another conversation. And remember that you've got to stay ahead, because this world that offers so much convenience is also evolving. And there are landmines which we could step on if we are not careful. Thank you very much for watching.